This is Long Way to the Top, and I'm your host, Shayne Brian. Today on Long Way to the Top, I'm speaking with one of the true sounds of the 80s, Stan Bush. Now, for many fans, Stan's music is the sound of courage, belief, big guitars, huge choruses, and, of course, never giving up. He is forever connected to the Transformers, the movie, through the iconic songs The Touch and Dare. But his story goes far beyond the Transformers. His music has powered films like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, The Wraith, reached animations, video games, television, helped define that heroic melodic rock sound that still gives people the goosebumps even today. Stan's latest album, Born for Battle, continues that tradition. It's been described as motivational rock, but there's something deeper running through it too. These are songs about faith, freedom, brotherhood, resilience, immigration, purpose, and the belief that there is a reason for everything. When you hear Stan Bush sing, it's like the entire 80s were poured into one voice, one guitar, and one massive chorus. Please welcome to Long Way to the Top, Stan Bush. How are you?
Hey, I don't know if I can top that opening, that introduction. Incredible.
Everybody says that. It's just I love to condense it and just give you guys a good launch pad to start from. But you don't need a launch pad. I mean, people describe you as one of the true sounds of the 80s. How does that sit with you?
Oh man, it's an honor to hear words like that. I don't feel I deserve it, but thank you so much.
Yeah,
it means everything. It really does.
Yeah. Do you think yourself as an 80s artist even today, or just as an artist that happens to carry the spirit of that era forward?
No, I'm stuck in the 80s. I admit it.
It's a good place to be, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I have this theory that every great 80s anthem was somehow poured into Stan Bush. Does that, how do you, I mean, when you hear people describe you and the 80s music, you really have become synonymous with that. And I guess it all started really for you, that launch pad was the Transformers, the movie.
Yeah, The Touch kind of started it all off. I mean, even that sort of like you were saying, go for it, believe in yourself, sort of feeling that was every album since then. There's 2 or 3 of those kind of anthemic, believe in yourself, go for it kind of thing where it's a cool, I don't know. It's I guess it's belief in yourself, and also there's this thing that each of us has, and it's sort of a dream that you have to reach for, and it just lifts you up. And I don't know how else to describe it, but
yeah.
It's a cool feeling.
Where did it all?
The 80s music was incredible. The movies back then, I love the movies because every like Back to the Future or Stone Cobra, or not Cobra, but the other one, Rocky. And it's like it all they had these songs, and you'd come out of the theater singing the song. It was like it was the best,
And we don't get that these days, do we? With the music, I mean, you can go through nearly every movie, and there was an associated song with that. Breakfast Club, Footloose, Top Gun. I mean, that sort of sound. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really cool thing and they were great songs too, all of them. So
yeah, where did it all start before Transformers? Where did it start musically for you?
Well, I grew up in Florida, and I started playing guitar when I was 10 or 11. My older brother sort of showed me a few chords and got me started, but it really started seeing the Beatles on TV just before that, and it was incredible, the feeling. I couldn't even describe it, but my mom came and got us. You got to see this. And it was, it's just magic. I don't know how else to say it, but anyway, that, and then I played in bands all through school, and just started, doing these talent shows or gigs for hire. We played fraternity parties and school dances and all that sort of thing, just like normal bands would have done. And just it kind of it's the thing about clubs in the United States anyway. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but
Mm.
that's kind of how you get good. You're just playing and singing every night, and
Yeah.
it's like your voice gets stronger. You start to sound like not an amateur anymore.
Yeah, yeah. You obviously you evolved your sound throughout the
Yeah,
years. When you first
yeah.
started out, what was the style you were gravitated towards?
The style, I guess I loved everything musically. I was,
Mm.
whether it was Zeppelin or the Beatles or
Mm.
um I loved Motown stuff.
Yeah,
The soul music, that stuff was incredible. The songwriting, the singing, and it was really all about the song. So
yeah,
you know, that was why the radio back then in the 70s and all that, it was just unbelievable music. They
yeah,
had everything from, Led Zepp was like Stairway to Heaven or something. Then you'd
yeah,
hear like Jimi Hendrix or,
yeah.
you know, it was all great.
And I guess that's why the classic hits radio stations like the one that I'm on are so popular because people remember that era, and when they hear that
Yes.
song, they automatically go, "Oh, I remember where I was when that song first came out."
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times they would have like older siblings or maybe their parents. So,
Mm.
and then they would start liking the same music. And
Yeah,
it's, works out that way, I think.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Can't keep
Now,
a good song down. I heard that one before.
no, that is absolutely true. I guess when we got to the 80s, right? The
Yep.
80s had a real feeling about it. And, you can, take away the buffy hair, and you can take away the scorching guitars. It still had a real soul about the songs,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
It's true. I mean, it's, the songwriting was a real craft, I think, back then. They had
Mm.
the sort of 80s style bands and all. Like you'd hear like Jefferson Starship or Heart. Those guys that wrote that stuff.
Mm.
That was a real craft, and they were
Yeah.
really good. Like, even staff writers, like at Warner Chapel and other places. And I got involved in some of that stuff, and as a writer and a
Mm.
singer, and I sang a ton of song demos for people, and I don't even remember. You remember this song? No. I apparently sang it because that's my voice on there, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, well, you look
But
at We Built This City. I mean, that song was actually thrown around everywhere trying to get someone to sing it and record it. In fact, I don't know whether you know much about Australia, but we've got a singer here who has gone through some tough times lately, but John Farnham.
oh,
And
amazing voice. Yeah.
incredible voice. In fact, you actually did a song.
I covered a song
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that
he
he's
did.
on. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Great singer.
and he actually was given We Built This City to record for his Whispering Jack album, and
I
he
didn't
and
know
he
that.
knocked it
Wow.
back. He knocked it back. He said, "Nope, can't see myself doing that." And then it was given to Starship.
My goodness, I didn't
Yeah,
know that. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
What do you think the secret is to a great '80s song?
That's the thing. I think songwriting is it's kind of elusive and hard
Mm.
to describe, but it's like a puzzle. You can't be too sort of overt. Like
Mm.
what your subject matter or whatever it is. You got to be sort of clever about it, and it's just like poetry has elements of where you have to. I don't know. You got to say it in a different way
Mm.
and say it where people can't tell, like, oh, that's obvious. You got to be clever about it. Sort of, it's hard to explain.
But there is a structure to it. I mean,
Yeah. Hold
you've
on.
you've got the initial music piece that comes in, and then the verse, and then the chorus, verse, chorus, and then the bridge. When that bridge comes along, and you're
Yeah.
getting to the end of that bridge, you know that chorus is going to kick in, and it is going to punch.
Yeah. 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 The B section, or what do they call it? A verse, B verse. What they have
Yeah,
different words for it, but it's the same thing. It's you set up the chorus, and often there's a key change
yeah,
involved, and
yeah,
it makes you just like, wow, I love this, because you don't expect it. You don't anticipate where it's going to go.
yeah,
And I think that to me is, I love that kind of stuff where it surprises you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing I guess is hardest of all is to be original, with,
Yeah. When you're
melodies.
when you write a big chorus,
Yeah,
are you thinking of the melody first, the message first, or the lift that you want people to get that just makes them punch the air?
kind of both. A lot of times the chorus, or the title will sort of emerge after you get like a chord thing, and then this sounds like the chorus, right? Or maybe you do the B
Yeah.
section and then find something that lifts even more
Yeah.
to be the chorus, and then you sort of you get a melody, right? Maybe a title kind of emerges in your brain or whatever, and then you sort of work backwards and fill in the pieces, fill in the verses, verse lyric, and all that. But
Yeah.
writing, like a lot of people, whether you start with the song or the music or the lyrics, is like kind of a chicken or the egg thing. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
people. I know, heck, Elton John. I mean, he with Bernie Taupin's lyrics, incredible stuff,
Yeah.
and I think he would like put it to music. I don't know how he did it, but he was amazing.
Oh,
Is amazing.
he is.
I,
Yeah, absolutely
talk to
incredible.
him, talk
Now,
about the extent, but yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
he
your
wrote it.
your music has been described as motivational rock. Do you like that
Oh
label?
no, that's a nice thing to hear. But thank you. Yeah, it's kind of like you said. It's just like you try to find the stuff that grabs people,
Mm,
and try not to be too predictable. I think
mm,
is
mm.
part of it.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, songs like, the Touch, and we're going to get to the Transformers in a minute. Dare, Never Surrender, Fight to Survive, and then now the songs on Born to Battle. They all seem to come from that emotional place of, struggle and victory. Is that what
Yeah,
draws you in as a songwriter?
yeah. I think that's really, everybody likes to see the good guy win, or in many cases the underdog. But it's I don't know. It is a thing. You want to. I like. I was a happy child and all that growing up, and
Mm,
had great childhood, great parents. I think there's a certain feeling of like, uh, I don't know. I want to say confidence, but just peace. You have this peace within that. Everything's going to work out, and you know
yeah,
you treat people right, and be a good person, and different things, and have like a spiritual side. We won't get into that, but I'm saying,
yeah,
just there's this whole thing that the world is full of amazing people, and
yeah,
it's like, I don't know, it's you want to try to help and reach the people. It's sort of a, like you said, with the you know where you're making music that sort of lifts people up, or
mm.
gives them a
Wants
belief
to
in
make them
themselves.
punch the air and
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That feeling of victory is
yeah,
it's good stuff, and I don't know, it's I get a lot of comments about that stuff,
yeah.
positive comments, and it's nice to be associated with stuff that's positive. I
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah, we need more of that in this world. And I really love what you said about the underdog, and that really was a common theme. You look at the '80s movies; it was such a big thing. You go to any of the big movies, like the ones we mentioned. It's always an underdog story, and how the underdog always ends up coming out on top. And do you think that rock music has lost some of that heroic, positive spirit?
Oh yeah, I think so. It's probably there's a lot of dark stuff,
Mm,
movies too. That
mm,
in these times, it's
mm.
I don't know. I guess it's sort of popular in a way, but like when the '90s came in, there was a whole different vibe. The '80s music kind of imploded. Yeah,
And then you got
it
the '90s grunge, and it kind of just went,
grunge. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like it pissed off.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it was important, I guess, but it wasn't as easy to relate. Like I'm not angry.
No,
I'm happy.
no. And
But
I,
yeah, my stuff, I was just gonna say that, I was like still an '80s guy,
yeah,
and I did some more softer things, acoustic stuff. I've always
yeah,
been a big fan of Don Henley. I love his music, his writing.
Yes.
But I was just going to say that for me, like the '80s thing, I kept doing what I did, and
Mm.
my main stuff was overseas. I did a lot of things in Europe and Japan, and
Yeah.
during those tumultuous years in the music industry.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, there's a fine line between uplifting and cheesy, right? But your songs feel sincere. I mean, how do you keep that honesty in the writing? When you're writing a song, do you reach a point where you go, "No, that's going to be cheesy if I put that in"?
Yeah, I think I have a cheese meter too. I think all of us do, but yeah, it is, like I said, it's a fine line. There's some things you feel silly to say or point out, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people relate to that sort of thing
Mm.
to a point, and I don't know. I was gonna say as an example of that. Remember, I think that was their first big single, Foreigner, that feels like the first time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a love song, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I would climb any mountain. That's tough stuff. I mean, the
Yeah.
lyric, he doesn't let down any cool, but he's, you know what I mean? It's positive, but it's also,
Yes.
he's got his macho thing going on, and I don't know. I was just, that's an example of something I always thought, that's the way to have a great rock song, that's still a love song, but it's not, schmoozy or whatever,
Yeah.
or soft or something. He
Yeah.
doesn't let down any toughness.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely, and I guess that brings us back to that well, your new album, or your latest album, it came out last year, Born for Battle. I mean, the title alone sounds like classic Stan Bush, right? I mean, so what does that phrase mean to you?
well, it was actually one of the lyrics in one of the songs that "You Were Born for Battle, You Were Made for This." That was at uh, it's actually a movie coming out in October called Lion Fist, and it's
Right?
martial arts film,
Yeah,
and it's a sequel to the last Kumite movie that came out a couple of years ago. It had two
yeah,
two of my songs in. They're also on the album,
yeah.
but yeah, this one is Heart of a Lion, and has that lyric,
Mm,
"You were made for this," and but I think uh, you know trying to do those songs, and
mm,
trying to write new stuff that still has that vibe. And like you were saying, the brotherhood thing, there
mm,
was a
mm.
song about that, and uh, it's just I don't know what else to say. It's just
Well, well, I
yeah,
mean, your album touches on a whole gamut of different, topics: freedom, brotherhood, purpose, faith. Were these themes that were on your mind from the beginning when you were doing the album, or did they reveal yourself as sort of the songs came together?
it was sort of song by song, but
Mm,
a
mm,
sort of picture emerged, I guess you'd
mm.
say. But yeah, it's like a lot of the things, like battle is not really a literal battle in these
No.
songs. It's more of a metaphorical. I mean, we all face challenges in life,
Mm,
and so that's just sort of the essence of a lot of the music is facing those challenges, like the battle, Born for
mm,
Battle, and you were, you know, as you said, the underdog, and you want to try to, you know,
mm.
do the right thing, and come out on top. And I think that's sort of the picture.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
freedom's another. That's a wonderful. I love that song. It came out really good.
Freedom's
But again,
great. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, when you first put it out, it seems like there's been so many changes that have happened in the world, in particular in America, since that
Yeah.
song first came out. Did you realize it was going to be so poignant now?
Yeah. No, I didn't. It is really a thing now that
Mm,
it's sort of precarious in a way. I mean, it's like no longer hip to be patriotic in some ways, and
mm.
that's very sad. That we've come to that point. But I hope that everything works out. I think it
Yeah,
will. It's like deep down, I think people know what's right, and what's good, and hopefully they'll get there. But
yeah,
I understand that people have differences. It's just human nature.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but we do. I mean, I know all respect to you and to Australia. That's another great country, but
Mm.
but I am partial to the U.S. My home. I'd
Yeah,
say,
of course, and
yeah.
it
I
must
went
it
to the
must
parade as a kid.
it must make you so sad just to see what's going on though in
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
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 Anyway,
I just,
we won't get
yeah,
into that. That's a
yeah.
whole
We'll
other
move
topic.
on.
I
Yeah.
would like to, however, talk about um, your music. Your album seems to have a really strong grounding in faith. Has faith always been part of you as a songwriter?
I'm growing in that regard. I've
Yeah,
been really, every song has some sort of spiritual side.
yeah,
Each album, that especially like towards the end, maybe the last song, there'll be like some. Um,
mm,
there was a song I did. It was let's see, home, a song about going home, and it was not just like checking out at the end of the day.
yeah,
It's like actually physically going home and just in your mind, like going back
yeah,
to childhood and remembering who you are and that kind of thing.
yeah,
But there's a line in there I liked. It was how come the child can see so much clearer than when we're grown.
yeah,
Love with your heart, be who you are,
yeah,
and see the light you've always known. That's, of course, all of us know that light. You know what that is, and
yeah,
because we're never alone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Want to
No,
go
I love
home.
it. I love it. And
Thank you.
I mean, music industry can be pretty brutal. I mean, how important is that has that belief been in surviving the highs and the lows?
Yeah, it helps. It really
Yeah,
does. There's a whole lot of that side. It's like
mm,
uh, I think most of us deep down believe in God,
mm,
and we want to live right. And I think the higher power thing is really important. And
yeah,
I think it's you sort of I'm an artist who's a Christian, but I'm not a
yeah,
Christian artist.
yes,
That's a
yes,
whole big step
yeah,
to
yeah,
itself.
yeah,
I considered that. I mean, it's I think that music, that genre, I like it. It's hard for me to write thinking that way,
yes,
as a songwriter,
yes,
but I think you can be sort of subtle about the message and still get across. I mean, like that song on the album, you probably know the one I'm talking about.
yeah,
There's a light
yes,
that
yep,
shines down, that's what that means. It's just not overt,
yes.
message like, yeah,
And I think there's been a lot of bands that have been very successful in doing that throughout the years. You
sure.
know, your
It's a
Switchfoots
calling, I
and all
think.
of that. Yeah, and I think you're better off being who you are and getting that message across to the people who need it, rather than
That's a great point.
you
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
yeah,
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 you gotta be yourself. You gotta be authentic. I think
yeah,
that's the biggest thing people can see and recognize is authenticity. Like somebody like Tom Petty. I've known him since we were kids,
mm,
both from Gainesville, Florida. But
yeah,
I mean, we were like seventh, eighth grade. We'd play in bands back then, and I knew him and some of the other guys in the band. But anyway, he always kept his integrity. The guy.
yeah,
You got to say, I mean, his songs were like really great and deep
yes,
and poignant, as you said,
yeah,
and it's, I'm just pointing that out an example of that sort of thing. Cause you got to be who you are. And
yeah,
even if your message isn't supposed to be, uh, you know, taken all that seriously, it is just music after all,
yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah, I recently spoke with Beeb Birtles, who is out of Little River Band,
Oh
and
yeah.
he likewise he has a very strong faith that started when Little River Band really just first got off the ground, and he has always been of that opinion that he would rather shine the light where it's needed rather than going into a completely different area. It had a lot of people questioning him, going, "Oh, what do you really believe?" But I think that's a good thing. It's rather than just coming out and just being very over the top.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I love them, by the way. I always love
Oh,
their
me
songs.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Now, we have to talk about Transformers, the movie. And
Okay.
for those who may not be aware, 40th anniversary this year. So the whole album has had an overhaul, which is absolutely incredible. It's the same but different. Listening to it, and I absolutely love it. This is not for those who may not have been a fan of Transformers back in the 80s. This is the first movie, the animated movie that came out long before Michael Bay kicked off his Transformers live action. Touch was a massive part of that film. Did you, firstly, well, there's a bit of a two-pronged question. How did it come about? And did you have any idea that it would still matter to people 40 years later?
Yeah, I definitely didn't have any idea that it would come into this kind of thing and become this huge phenomenon all around the world. Nobody did. I think it was at the time Ninja Turtles was bigger than Transformers. But no, we myself and Lenny Macaluso, my co-writer, he and I were just at his apartment, and we came up with this idea about you got the touch. He was actually it was from that Louis Gossett Jr. Movie Iron Eagle 2.
Oh yes,
and he turns to the young fighter pilot and says, "Kid, you got the touch." And I was like, "Wow!" A light goes off. So and then of course you may know this, but or have heard this, but the touch we originally wrote it, Lenny and I, with the intention of pitching it to Stallone for that movie Cobra. I know I mentioned that title earlier, but that was sort of, it was just an idea, let's try to write a song for this movie or whatever. And then the record company, they got it in this animated film about robots. So I'm like, oh, okay. And anyway, but little did we know it was going to be this huge thing, And, but it was exciting. The recording came out great, and it just, like you said, magical, sort of like, wow, this is a great song.
It's an iconic 80s song.
Thank you.
Yeah. Were you a fan of the Transformers, like
no,
cartoons?
Well, I didn't even know what they were at first, but my nephew had this little toy, and he converted a truck into a robot in like 2 seconds flat. And I was still messing with it 5 minutes later, but anyway, that was my first experience to the toy. Yeah. So anyway, but so no, I didn't really know about them and before that.
Now, for a lot of fans, the touch is really tied to childhood and like you said, your nephew Optimus Prime growing up. I mean, what does it mean to you to hear those stories throughout the years? And you would have heard so many stories from people now about what it means to them.
Oh yeah, no, it's huge. There's an emotional component to that movie. Optimus Prime almost as a father figure. It's like, and of course, when in the movie when he dies, it was like so traumatic. It
never happened before in a cartoon.
Well, not since Bambi, and it was equally traumatic. But anyway, it was. Amazing movie though. The cast, everything about it, was really cool. And again, initially the first few years of doing these sort of when the sort of popularity or the cult following or whatever it was became sort of more and more grew. I had to start learning more about the lore. I didn't know what who does what, and this guy is this guy, and you know what I mean. Yes. So the fans were teaching me, but I got to say, going to these Transformers conventions over the years, they're the most incredible people I've met. They're all, you just want to hug them. They're just warm, awesome people, and you talk about these songs and about my music and things in such. It's very humbling,
Yeah. So, and you say that, and of course, I look at. You look at things like if you become Doctor Who, for example, suddenly you go to every Doctor Who convention, every Comic-Con, and it becomes like this big thing. Did you know at the time, like what was you wouldn't have had a clue that this was going to happen, that it was going to be such a big thing for you. And now you're going to every convention that there is for the Transformers, and probably Comic-Cons.
No, I had no idea. It's been incredible. What a ride, to be associated with the brand, all this time. And like I say, there've been different versions of the Touch and several uses in TV and movies and video games for those songs, the Touch and Dare, and other versions of this and that. There's another Transformers theme that I wrote, and
yes,
but it's been really a cool thing.
You had one that also appeared in one of the, I think it was ongoing in the series, if I can remember correctly. Just my brain.
War for Cybertron.
What was that one? Sorry.
War for Cybertron. Or,
yes.
The fall of Cybertron was another one. And,
right.
Different series of
Did you become the go-to guy where they go, "Hey, Stan, we need another song"?
Yeah, I got to tell you one little quick story that I was at a Transformers convention back east, and anyway, he had just finished doing a panel, and so Mark Wahlberg was walking off stage, backstage, and I yelled out, "You got the touch!" And he turns around and says, "How did I do?" I says, "It was great." Anyway, he comes over he was talking about Boogie Nights, Anyway, he comes over with his phone about a couple of minutes later, and we were singing the Touch, like together, like a couple of drunk guys, after all is said and done. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And he puts it on his Facebook.
For those who may not have realized, yes, it was in Boogie Nights. We won't go into that one. But it was he was Dirk Diggler. Is that correct?
Yes.
But the interesting thing is that years later, he ended up in Transformers, and
I know
it all just sort of came around.
That's
circle.
the irony. Yeah. It's like it really did come full circle. It was like, wow, because association having sung the song in that other movie, and then being the star of the whole brand for the Bay movies.
Yes.
Awesome.
Now you've got obviously there's a new version of the soundtrack that is dropping on July 24. I've had the pleasure of listening to it. It's fantastic. It is the reformatted edition, and the songs have been re-recorded, reimagined, and every song's been rebuilt by this group called the Knights of Unicron to just sort of make it a little bit heavier, a little bit sharper. How did you feel going back in to do Touch?
Oh, well, it's pretty great. I mean, the new stuff sounds incredible for one thing. Amazing album, and those guys are incredible, talented, and it's got quite a lineup of great singers. And
Sebastian Bach from Skid Row.
I know.
I mean, come on, right?
I know, right? Yeah. So.
Did you go back into the studio to re-record it?
Yeah. So this is good stuff, exciting.
Yeah. So did you obviously Vince was part of Vince DiCola was part of the original, and you went back in with him as well? Yeah,
Vince. I met him back when we did the album with the Touch, and he played on some of the other stuff as well. Of my Barrage album, and so I met him back then, and we've been friends ever since. And we've done a number of these type of conventions and things and performed together. In fact, the recent one was in March. We did the Whiskey A Go Go, the iconic place, famous nightclub, in Hollywood, and that was in March. And it's a great concert. There were Transformers. There was a convention going on that weekend, TFCon in LA, and so we had a packed house, and they loved it. Anyway, so Vince is a part of this too, and like you said, he did the score for the Transformers, the movie, the original, and so he's involved in this too. And so it's like the record guy, he pointed out. I mean, I think Vince and I are the only two original ones that are still doing it. Still. So anyway,
I mean. A lot of the fans haven't heard the new versions, except for Touch. I think you've released that a video of that already. Is that correct?
Yeah, the touch is out, I think, as
Yeah.
a single, the lead off single for the
Yes. Yeah.
new soundtrack, the
Ha-
Imagine soundtrack.
What sort of response have you got from the fans?
Oh, they love it. It's yeah, it's going out gangbusters.
Yeah.
It's exciting. This is we've
Was
got
it?
the performance coming up. You probably know that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. So tell
yeah.
us tell us about the performance.
Let's see. That'll be the weekend of Comic-Con, which is in like less than 3 weeks, or is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That'll be in San Diego. So I'll be performing with these guys, and
Yeah.
from the album, the band will be there. The Knights of Unicron. It'll be at the House of Blues, and
Mm.
that's Thursday, the 23rd of July. And
Yeah.
then, of course, as you said, the album drops the next day, and we'll be on hand for autographs and so forth at the Comic-Con. So anyway, it'll be
Yeah. Are
exciting.
you going to do the album in its entirety?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That's
That is
my
incredible.
understanding.
That is incredible. Dare is another huge fan favorite. Do you feel sometimes it gets overshadowed by the touch?
It's interesting. Those two songs, you're either Dare or you're The Touch. They're both great songs. But as far as your favorite, I mean,
Yeah.
The Touch is the most special one in my heart, but
Yeah.
because you being a writer on it, but Dare's great too. It's a great song.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I figured out too that if you're going to end the night or end the gig with the concert as a last song, you don't want to do the Dare and then Touch, because it's the Dare is so fast, the
Yeah.
tempo, and you know what I mean. It makes the second song sound slow by comparison.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love
Stuff like
both.
that.
I love both, but I have to say I am very much, a fan of the touch more, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Now, of course, your music has appeared in a lot of other Japanese animation as well, Sailor Moon, as well. Why do you think that your songs work so well in that Japanese animation space?
I'm not sure. I do know that the Touch, or the Transformers, the movie, was an anime movie.
Yeah.
That's it's funny because I go to these conventions, sometimes anime things, and
Yes.
they know about that, and of course the Touch, because it's
Yes.
the original anime stuff in that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you got a lot of younger fans that are joining the whole bandwagon now, discovering your music through YouTube and also games and also Transformers. Does that still surprise you to this day?
yeah. I mean, it really is. It's like a whole new generation of kids that
Yeah.
know that stuff, know the songs, and it's pretty exciting. Because really, the people that come to the convention, sometimes they'll bring their son or something, or their daughter or whatever, and they're just as much a fan as the parent, the dad, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. I think it flows down from the parents. The parents are like, listen to this, son, and play it. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I always do a fast five at the end of my interview. So 5 questions. Don't need to think about them too much. Just whatever answer comes into your mind. So let's kick it off with the best 80s anthem of all time that is not one of yours.
Oh, probably Eye of the Tiger. It probably actually 70s, I guess. Almost. It was the early 80s.
It was early
anyway.
80s. It's considered 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just as a song, I mean, that's just
Yeah.
what an amazing track, an amazing
Yeah.
song, and the movie, of course, Rocky 1 was a great,
Well,
great movie.
Actually, it wasn't actually in Rocky 1.
Oh, it was really?
It was in Rocky, I'm going to say it was either Rocky 2 or Rocky 3. A lot of people
No
actually
kidding.
think that it was in Rocky 1, but it's one of those Mandela effects when it's like, I'm sure it was, but it's not. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was,
My-
the song in Rocky 1 was Gonna Fly Now.
Oh, Gonna Fly Now. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was, Survivor's Eye of the
That's
Tiger
so
was
funny.
was definitely an 80s
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the same label as them.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Survivor.
Wow. Okay. And now, one word, describe the
Okay.
touch.
Uplifting, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's good. Guitar riff, synth hook, or massive chorus?
Massive chorus.
Yeah, you got it right. What is the secret to a great motivational rock song?
Man, over the top optimism.
I love it. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And also, I think we go back to the underdog.
Yeah, that's
It
a
is
good
right. It's the hero's journey all the way. You know,
hero. Yeah, it's a hero.
Yeah.
Heroes. That's the best word. Yeah,
hero's journey. Yeah, yeah. Finish this sentence. I was born for
Sorry?
battle. Finish this sentence.
Okay.
I was born for battle because.
Because they never back down.
Yeah, good. That is good. Stan, if someone is listening right now and they're going through their own battle, what song of yours would you tell them to start with?
Never surrender.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Look, it's been a great chat with you. I've really enjoyed, diving into the 80s. You've left a massive legacy with everything that you've done. What does that legacy mean to you now, all these years later?
Well, just unbelievable honor, to be thought of this way and to be a part of this whole brand and feeling emotion and all the other things. It's just I mean, what an incredible thing to have that kind of the legacy of whatever legacy it is. It's certainly I don't deserve it.
Oh, I think you do. I think you do. Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's hard work or just being stubborn. You're been doing it.
Never give up. That's the story. That's the underdog story. Never give up. Oh, look, Stan Bush, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today, and I love the legacy of what you have left. The album is out on the 24th of July. Grab a copy of it. You can actually, if you go to the website, you can get the vinyl, you can get the CD, you can get the cassette, which I love. I think that it's great that they've done that. And you can get the T-shirt. So there you go, the whole lot. Grab the whole lot, and it's definitely worth it. Some great names on that, and a reworking of all the songs, including The Touch. So, Stan, it's been an absolute honor chatting with you today. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your love and attention. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Long Way to the Top. Hit plus or follow to subscribe to the podcast, and head over to Facebook at the Long Way to the Top podcast and give us a like. Keep on rocking, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Long Way to the Top.